Hello again, sixth grade science students. So what we're going to talk about for just a minute here is the phrase canary in a coal mine. And so from this image, you can see a miner with his mining helmet on and everything, holding a little cage with a canary in it. And so canaries used to be used in the mines, not just coal mines, but a variety of different mines. And they were extremely sensitive to carbon dioxide levels, and specifically when oxygen levels in the air became low. And so if something was happening where there wasn't enough oxygen in the air, what would unfortunately happen is that the canary would pass out and die. And so the miners would take these canaries into the coal mines with them and put them nearby when they were working, and they would periodically check on them. And if they noticed that the canary had died, they knew they had to get the heck out of that mine really quick, because there were either poisonous gases being released or the oxygen levels in the air were decreasing, and they knew that was something had gone wrong. And so the reason, or I should say, the context for which this phrase is used these days is in any situation where you have an indicator of a larger problem. So the kind of the first line of indication that something is going wrong. So it may not be visible to you. So in this case, to the average miner, in this case, the low oxygen levels or the poisonous gas in the atmosphere was not immediately obvious. But with this canary there, they would notice that the canary, since it was more sensitive, would be that kind of first line of defense and say, uh-oh, something is going wrong. We need to get this fixed or get out of here before it gets really bad. And so as we're going through the rest of this week, think about this phrase and what this has to do with some of the things that we're learning. So what might be, for example, what we call indicator species in our environment. So species that may be the first to react poorly to changes in our environment, whether that's from natural causes or man-made causes. But if those certain species start to die off or behave in certain ways, it tells us that it is the beginning of a larger problem. And in this case, if you think back to the canary in the coal mine, the miners wouldn't want to wait until they started to get drowsy or cough or started to have trouble thinking clearly before they got out of the mine. They took action as soon as they noticed that indicator, or in this case the canary, react to this type of problem. So think about what that means larger scale for our ecological discussions on some of these topics, and what are some of our indicator species. What are we currently doing as human beings when we notice these indicator species reacting, especially in situations where the cause of the indicator species dying or reacting poorly is our fault, has something to do with some sort of human action or human pollution, something like along those lines. So again, that's what your phrase canary in the coal mine means. Think about that as we go through the information in the rest of this unit, and come back to that periodically. Think about what that means.